All right, YouTube. So we're gonna get back into this, and actually, something that I would like to do is just to display raw, natural emotion as far as weight and weight loss is concerned. I'm not gonna flip out on camera or anything, but just to get into the way that people feel about it. I feel like weight itself it has become such a large conversation piece, and it's not only because people are unhealthy and that they need to be at a better weight for their body and for their heart and their mind and things like that. It's become a social situation as well, where you have people who are obese or morbidly obese or even overweight, and they're not even looked at as attractive or sexy. They're not deemed as the beautiful people in life, and it's very unfortunate. Now, don't get me wrong, there are all kinds of advocacy groups and Facebook groups, and Big and Sexy is the best, and all of this, but to me, in honesty, it shouldn't have to be a website where Big and Sexy is the best, because if you're sexy, then you're sexy. That's it, period. It's just like there shouldn't have to be a strictly black or Arabic or Caucasian website, that is dealing directly with those people. Everybody should be able to do everything with anybody, and there shouldn't be such a box placed on a person because of weight. Now, understandably so, if it's unattractive, if the person is unattractive, you can't force yourself to like a person, but I just wish that people would be a little bit more open-minded about what it is that they close out to themselves, because at the end of the day, the weight, if it's not a manageable weight, then that's something to look into. You and that person may need to sit down and discuss a relationship, or if you're currently in one, or if you're looking to date somebody, and, say you meet offline, and then when you're in person, it's not everything that you thought it was going to be. That's a conversation to go ahead and take care of then. But you can't allow yourself to be so closed-minded behind that. Even to this day, at 26 years old, as small as I am and have gotten, every time I hear people laugh, in the back of my mind there's something that rings, and it's like, I wonder if they're talking about me. And that's because I was talked about like a dog as a child, because I was bigger than what I should have been for the age group. And, down to the point where my teachers talked about me. I had a teacher who actually talked about me. She was making reference to me being larger in class, in front of the class, and then actually offered to bring me in some food. Told me as a punishment that I wasn't going to be able to eat lunch and things like that. And this is a teacher. So I'm saying, you can only imagine how the kids are. You can only imagine how somebody who has no direct tie to you at all, who doesn't see you every day, would say things that are very hurtful, things that make people want to commit suicide. I thought about committing suicide. My situation wasn't only because of the weight. It was a lot of things that were going on, but that all played a part, and that was an issue. I say I think about it because I thought about it and I practiced it, and it didn't work. So apparently it was just supposed to be a thought and not an action. But people should not feel the need to have to take their own lives because they're not what society views correct. They're not the esteemed part of society. They're outcast. Hell, even the gay community, you have minority, which you're of color, within a minority because you're homosexual, and then within another minority because you're of color, homosexual, and then you're overweight. That is the pits. There is no help for that. There's nothing that can be done, and it should not be looked at like that. I think that is a very strong personal venture that needs to be accepted and adapted to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and lose this weight, but you cannot make a person do it because they want to do it. They have to do it because they want to do it. That goes back into forcing people to be a part of what it is that you believe is correct in life, and that's not always correct. You can't do that. If a person is not ready, willing, and able, then they're not going to do whatever the task is that's laid out before them. You need to have yourself mentally charged before you can do anything physically. So I just look at it, and, it does make me feel some type of way, even to this day. Like I said, I'm still dealing with my weight. I'm not completely skinny. I don't ever look to be, but there are a few things that within my body I would like to go ahead and tweak. But even in doing that, I see the reaction. I see that there's no six-pack underneath, so there's a different look. Not a bad one or a good one, but just a different look. I know that I'm not, in a size 32 jeans, even at this point in time. And again, it's the same different look, because there's this Barbie and Ken image out here that's supposed to be portrayed by us. And unfortunately, in the fact that we believe in the image, we also believe that this is a person that we're supposed to be presented with. So I think a lot of the times we do lose out. We do lose out on a good person. Maybe you're in an abusive relationship right now because you passed up on the fat guy who would have gotten you a mansion, lost his weight, and treated you like a princess. But we'll never know because it's all over and done with now. You just have to really start making better decisions. Sometimes things in people's lives are not things that they are okay with. It's not to say, oh, they just eat a whole lot. They just go out and take the whole steam tray out and put it right on the table at the buffet, and they just eat a whole lot. That's why they're fat. It doesn't have to always be like that. And even if that is the case, it's not because they're being nasty or they're being trifling or anything of that sort. It's obviously a mental condition. There's something wrong mentally, be it that they need to have their medication switched. Maybe they need to be put on medication. They may be depressed, severely, clinically. You never know. You never know. They could have just lost somebody and be an emotional eater, but within ourselves, we have to find a better way to start going about the help process. And again, that's the reason why I started this. I can't speak for everybody else, and I know that what I'm saying may be rough to certain people, and it probably isn't even politically correct, but at the end of the day, it's fine, because I don't need to be, because the world isn't. As politically correct as this world asks you to be, it is not. Because if it was, then we wouldn't have a reason for me to be on camera right now. You would probably see somebody in black hoods come in here and take me off, It's just so funny how there's a double standard with so many things. And to me, I believe that is being two-faced. There's not a double standard with me. You're either the way you are or you're the way they want you to be. And that's it. I'm me all day long. Always have been, always will be. Everything is straight out, flat out, across the board, no gray areas, black and white, period. And that's the way that it needs to be. Nothing was sugar-coated for me. When I was 6 years old and people are like, whoa, hold on to the walls, here he comes. And, it sounds funny because it is, as an adult and out of that situation, but that's a very traumatic thing for a 6-year-old. Very traumatic. Like I said, there are certain things that still stick with me to this day, and it's not going to go away. I'm very mentally capable of making sure that I know that I'm grounded and I'm okay in my life and in my body. But certain things, certain scars just don't heal. And that's the politically correct answer, I guess.